So this question might just be the most important question you ever ask yourself. And this question is not only the key to the first step, let's say, of embracing your divine feminine energy, but it's also the key and the foundation to just living a happy life, one that's truly aligned with your desires and your needs. And it's something that we often, both men and women, struggle with. And when you don't understand this about yourself, you tend to self-abandon in different areas of your life. And the question is, do you feel worthy? Now really sit with that and think about that. Do you feel worthy in and of being yourself? And when you start to think about it, I want you to also think about where you're sourcing your worthiness from. So are you sourcing your worth from external things like what you do for your living, what your bank account balance is, what friendship circle you're a part of, what your relationship status is? People think you're pretty, if people think you're funny. Where are you sourcing your worth? Is it coming from outside of you, or is it coming from within? And if you really want to understand if it's coming from within you or from outside of you, you can ask yourself something very simple. If everything was stripped away in your life, you lost your job, you lost your relationships, you had nothing left, you were, put out onto the streets with nothing, God forbid. But would you still feel like a worthy human, or would you be completely lost? If you're sourcing your worth from within, you will still feel worthy even with nothing. And if you are sourcing your worth from outside of you, then you will struggle if you lose those things in your life. And so today I want to share 3 simple but powerful rituals that will help you step into your self-worth, to reclaim it, rebring it inside, and start being able to embody somebody who feels worthy, showing up in the world from a place of deep-rooted self-worth. But before I jump into these rituals, I just want to talk about why, this is an important topic, and why it's so important to source your worthiness from within instead of trying to be validated from outside. So in today's world, most of us are sourcing our worth from outside of us. And that's because society tells us that our worth is based on what we achieve, what we do, who we're with. But true worth is something that comes from within you, something that's innate, something we're all born with. We're all worthy just because we're human. And that's rare and that's beautiful. And that in and of itself has worth. So it's not something we need to earn. And because we have been taught that this is something that we need to earn, that bringing this worthiness back into ourselves and sourcing it from ourselves is really hard to do for us. And that's why so many people struggle with this topic of being worthy. But when we start to bring our worth back inside of us, we see that we are worthy of all of these things, all of our desires, all of our needs, all of our wants, everything. We are worthy of it. And when you step into that, you step into your divine feminine. It's the first step. If you do not feel worthy, you will never be able to fully embrace your divine feminine energy. And if you're sourcing your worth from outside of you, it can be taken away. Anytime it's something externally, that worthiness can be removed. You don't want to crumble if you lose your job or your boyfriend breaks up with you. If you are firm in who you are and in your intrinsic value as a human being and your worthiness, nothing will be able to fully break you because you're solid in sourcing your worth from within you. So it can't be taken away. Another thing is if you're looking outside of yourself for your worth and validation, you're always going to be living to seek approval from other people, which means that you're not living for yourself. You're going to be compromising on your values. You're going to be compromising on your desires because you're going to be bending in any way that will give you that little hint of validation. And in the end, that's not going to feel good. It might feel good in the moment you get validated, but in the long run, you know in your core that that doesn't feel nice because you're not truly living in alignment with you and your needs and desires. And this leads into another thing, which is that when you're sourcing your validation from outside of you, your confidence is shaky. when you're constantly looking for validation, you only feel confident when you're getting that validation. You're only feeling worthy and confident when you get this validation. And when it stops coming or it's taken away, then you lose your confidence. It's not grounded in anything solid. When you source your worth from within, your confidence is stable, it is there, it is steady, and it is rooted in who you are. So it's not shaky. And the self-worth allows you to speak your truth, set your boundaries, stay within your boundaries, and show up fully in your authentic self, which helps build your confidence even more. It gives you the courage to then be seen as who you actually are. Then you can truly connect to the world and to other people around you because you're able to let people see you for you. And to be seen is such a beautiful experience that can only happen when you're truly rooted and feeling worthy. Otherwise, you'll block it. Another thing is that when you feel worthy from within, you'll stop settling in your life because you know what you deserve when you are rooted in your worth. You'll stop settling in relationships, in jobs, in different situations that don't honor you and your boundaries and your needs and your desires. You'll say thank you and move along, because you feel worthy of having what is actually truly aligned for you. You won't have this thought that something better won't be coming or that you're not worthy of the true version of whatever you want from these situations. Rather, you'll know inside you that you are worthy of them. Lastly, it's just how you reclaim your power. It is so powerful to validate yourself, to know that you do not need anyone else to tell you if you've made the right decision, if you're living your life the right way, if you're beautiful, if your job is making you happy. Nothing. You will not look outside of yourself because you will know and feel so rooted in yourself. You will continuously validate yourself and stop looking outward, which is where true power begins. And that's why this is foundational for embracing your divine feminine energy, because divine feminine energy is powerful. So we need to be rooted in our power for it. But I just want to preface that this is foundational for the divine feminine, but that doesn't mean if you're not on a divine feminine journey that this isn't going to help you. This is something that's going to help you no matter what. Divine feminine, divine masculine, whatever. This is foundational for living an authentic, truly rooted life. So with all of that said, let's get into the rituals. So the first ritual, this is one that I absolutely love and I started doing because I read the book, The Artist's Way, which is an amazing book, and I will link it below. If you've never heard of it, check it out. Truly a life-changing journey. I won't get into it too much, but one of the rituals within this book is something I've adopted into my life. It's probably been around 8 years of me doing this now, but it's going on solo dates. So if you think about it, how do we decide if someone is worthy to commit in a relationship to? We don't just meet someone and decide, okay, I'm going to commit to this person. No, we get to know the person. We go on dates with the person. We spend time with them. We discover what makes them tick, and slowly we see their worthiness in our eyes. Of course, they're worthy in and of themselves, but if we want to commit to them. But here's the thing, most of us never do this with ourselves. So we never get to know ourselves on that level so intimately. A lot of us are afraid to spend time with ourselves. And if this thought of taking yourself on a solo date and going out into public and doing something alone scares you, then please listen to me when I say you need this more than anyone else. This will change your life. So here's how it works. Basically, once a month or every 2 weeks, if you really want to, you could do it every week. If you have time, I definitely do. Take yourself on a date. Go do something alone. Go sit at a cafe and read a book. Go to the movies alone. Go for a little adventure in your neighborhood park alone. Just spend time with yourself. Go out to dinner alone. Go out to lunch alone. Whatever. Just start to go out and do things alone and start to really tune into how this makes you feel and all the narratives that come up when you go out. I know the first time I started going out alone, I had so many thoughts thoughts of like, oh my God, everyone thinks I have no friends and like I'm such a loser because I'm here at dinner alone and look at all these people with friends and la la la, and I'm here sitting alone. And it was shocking to me, the narratives that were coming to my mind, because I know none of that is true, but it didn't stop my mind from thinking those things. And those were unconscious things coming in and up for me. So I started to see this side of my mind that was coming up, and I could, start to tell myself that's not true and really sit with like, okay, why are you so uncomfortable with this? But it wasn't all about self-reflection and diving into my shadows. It's also a way to get to know how great you are to spend time with, because you'll start to see that you enjoy your own company and you start to see your true desires and what lights you up, because you're not having to answer to anyone else or compromise in any way. It's completely up to you what you do in your solo dates. So you get to choose. So you're really building this relationship with yourself. And if you have the chance, I would highly, highly, highly recommend to travel alone. And I think every woman should travel alone at some point in their life, because it is an extremely empowering thing to do, because you truly are on your own and you have to navigate, a new terrain by yourself. And that means doing everything from morning to evening by yourself. Of course, traveling, you can always meet people, but that's a decision you get to make if you want to meet people or not, if you want to be social or not. So you get to really choose how you move through the world. For me, my first solo trip changed my life. And here I am, 10 plus years later, living in Bali, where I came alone, and I don't even think twice about it anymore, traveling alone, doing anything on my own. But it was not that way the first time. It was uncomfortable. It was, confronting and not easy. But as you get to know yourself and as you start to build this relationship with yourself by going on these solo dates, you learn to self-source your joy, beauty, pleasure, all of these things. You stop trying to source these things from outside yourself. You know that you can give it to yourself, and that, maybe having someone else around to do things with is a bonus, but you're just as capable to do it on your own. I really learned that from going to a concert on my own. I wanted to see this band, the Black Keys. No one else wanted to come with me. I did not want to miss it. And I was really not comfortable going to a concert alone, but I thought, what the hell? I'm going to do it. And I went, and I had so much fun watching this band. In the end, I reflected that, I prefer to go to concerts with friends. It's more fun to be around people I love and to experience that with someone. But it was so empowering to know that I could do that on my own anyways. So it's not always about like being secluded and solo. It's about getting to know yourself and getting to know that you can do things and find joy on your own, that you are not needing to wait around for someone else to give you permission to have whatever you're looking for, joy, fun, love, whatever. You can self-source that all from within you. And that's what solo dates and this ritual teaches us. So mark your calendar, create, block off a couple hours every week or every 2 weeks or once a month at least to spend time with yourself and do something alone. So ritual number 2 is a daily ritual, and it's actually done twice a day. So it is the mirror work ritual. And the mirror work ritual is about looking yourself in the mirror every morning and every night. So most of us, when we look in the mirror, we start to see all the things we don't love about ourselves, and we fall into the habit of criticizing ourselves or judging ourselves, or, just nitpicking all the little things that we think are wrong with ourselves. So this ritual is all about flipping the script and starting to really see the things that you actually love about yourself, so that the mirror becomes a place of peace and self-love rather than criticism and judgment. So the way this looks is that every morning you're going to look yourself in the mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and smile at yourself. You could place a hand on your heart or hand on your belly if you want to feel more connected with your body, and then start to just notice and tell yourself the things that you love about yourself. And I want you to give yourself a compliment out loud. And this doesn't just have to be on your physical appearance. If you are having a day where you're like, I feel like I look horrible, I don't want to compliment myself, it doesn't feel genuine, blah, 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 I'd encourage you to fight through that. But you can also compliment something non-physical. You can say something like, I love the way that I show up in the world, or I love the way that I give my love to the world, or whatever. Anything about yourself. It does not have to be physical. And this is going to feel weird. Like, it's going to feel really uncomfortable the first time you do it, especially if you've never complimented yourself before. It's going to feel a little bit, cringy. But that's okay. Push through it. And the more you do it, you start to create this neural pathway that allows you to truly just see yourself in a loving light and allow yourself to give yourself praise and joy and compliments and mean it. And you won't feel so weird celebrating yourself then. So then in the evening, I want you to return to the mirror and say one thing that you are proud of from the day. Look at yourself and tell yourself that you are proud of yourself. This is so powerful. We tend to tell everyone else how proud we are of them, give everyone else compliments, celebrate everyone else, but we rarely celebrate ourselves or give ourselves compliments. It's honestly seen as like a little bit icky in culture to praise yourself. But if you're not going to be proud of yourself, if you're not going to praise yourself, then you're looking for that outside of yourself. So when we start to give it to ourselves, we don't need it from other people. It's nice still, don't get me wrong. It's great to have someone you love tell you that they're proud of you or compliment you. But the difference is between it being nice and needing it. So when you do this, you start to see and embody the goddess in the mirror looking back at you. You start to wire your brain to see someone that you're proud of, somebody who you want to celebrate. You start to see yourself in a loving light. And that is incredible. So that's ritual 2. Okay, so ritual 3 is super powerful. And it takes a lot of introspection and awareness. So this is rewriting the stories you tell yourself. I want you to start noticing whenever you're in an uncomfortable situation throughout the day, what stories your mind starts to tell you. Maybe something doesn't go your way. Maybe you're waiting for a text from somebody that never comes. Maybe a project didn't go well at work. Whatever the situation is that's uncomfortable, notice where your mind goes. Notice what stories you're telling yourself. Notice if you're saying, I'm not worthy of love. This can be, maybe not saying exactly in your mind, I'm not worthy of love, but it starts to say, he lost interest in me because I couldn't keep his attention, or this project failed because I don't know what I'm doing and I shouldn't have this job in the first place. Notice the stories that you're telling yourself. Notice if you are the victim in your story. Now, once you have your stories that you wrote, and you can just write them down in a journal or whatever. And when you have the time, and when I say have the time, I mean at the end of the day or later, it doesn't have to be in that moment, but it should be within the day. Rewrite those stories. So you'll start to look at these stories and question, where did this narrative come from? Is it something in my childhood that is bringing up this wounding, or something culture or social media told you? And then start to ask yourself, is this true? Is this 100% true? Most of the time you're going to find it's not true. Then I want you to rewrite the story from the viewpoint of this part of you that already knows you're worthy, already knows you're a goddess, already knows that you are an embodiment of the divine feminine, and write your truth from that perspective. So this is super powerful because these stories that we tell ourselves, we start to believe. And when you rewrite the narrative where you are worthy of the absolute best and that you are doing your absolute best, then your mind starts to believe that. And that's what we want, because you are worthy. And whenever a situation comes up where it makes you question your worth because you've been sourcing your worth through that situation, you will be able to re-anchor that worth inside of you rather than allow that situation to let you crumble just by rewriting the stories. It's very powerful. Sometimes it's the most simple rituals that are the most powerful. It's just a matter of consistency and devotion. That is how the divine feminine moves. That is how the divine feminine works. It is all about doing things consistently over and over again with devotion, with consciousness and mindfully. So these rituals and this video in general is not about becoming someone new that you feel is worthy. It's not about changing anything about you. It's about seeing that you as yourself are already worthy of everything you desire and everything that you want in life. And that is the first step to truly embodying your divine feminine energy and stepping into this goddess energy. When you're rooted in your worth and you know that you are worthy, you are unstoppable. And there's of course a lot more to embodying your divine feminine because it's a very multifaceted energy, but we'll be getting into more of that. But this is the first step. Like I said at the beginning, this is the foundation for everything. And if you want more goddess rituals, divine feminine rituals, mindfulness rituals, and practices, please subscribe to the channel. I'll also put the link to subscribe to the newsletter, also the Maya Muse mindfulness community, beautiful community to join, totally free. So if you're interested, all the links are below. Let me know how it goes with the rituals. Try to be consistent. You come into the divine feminine by showing up with devotion and ritual. So that's why rituals are so important. But devotion part means consistency. So consistently showing up for yourself. And that's when you're going to see you start to step into your worth and your divine feminine. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.